Infinite is one of Microsoft's biggest upcoming games, and while it missed its original release date as an Xbox Series X and S launch title, the free-to-play multiplayer beta had a surprise launch, and the campaign is out on December 8th. At E3 2019, Microsoft showcased a cinematic trailer revealing a closer look at Master Chief and his new design. The sequence showed Master Chief being woken up to embark on his next mission to save the universe, probably. According to Microsoft, the trailer included clues and references to Master Chief's next journey, and fans spent months picking it apart in search of answers of what's coming next. While story details are being kept under wraps for now, Microsoft did confirm that Halo Infinite will focus more on Master Chief than Halo 5 did. As fans may recall, that title strayed from the franchise's hero with a storyline that touched on another character, Locke, and even had players fight as him for some parts of the campaign. Putting more of an emphasis on Master Chief is the smart call by Microsoft. It demonstrates a commitment to getting the story right this time around with Halo Infinite. Microsoft has acknowledged that Halo 5's campaign was a letdown, so fans will be eager to see how the story grows and improves this time. For what it's worth, Microsoft is telling fans to think of Halo Infinite as Halo 6 instead of some kind of spin-off or franchise extension beyond the main storyline. It is a spiritual reboot of the franchise, according to 343 studio boss Bonnie Ross. We also know it takes place on Zeta Halo, a key location from Halo lore. If you remember, the story of Halo is that the ring worlds were created by another race, the Forerunners, as super weapons that could wipe out sentient life in the galaxy. They were a last-ditch effort to contain the Flood, a hive-minded alien race that turns other sentient creatures into its gross zombies. Remember the library in Halo Combat Evolved? Zeta Halo, also known as Installation 07, is where the Forerunners used human test subjects for experiments with the Flood back when the parasites first started to show up during the Forerunner era. Installation 07 had some different functionality than other ring worlds, so we can probably expect new and different structures there, and to plumb more of the backstory of the Forerunners and the race that preceded them, the Precursors, while exploring the place. We've also gotten a little bit of info about the Banished. The Covenant splinter group sounds like it is hell-bent on wiping out humanity once and for all, probably by making use of the Halo Array superweapon to do something drastic. The Banished on Zeta Halo seems to be led by a brute called War Chief Escharum, who also looks to be the game's antagonist. Master Chief and Escharum were actually both on Planet Reach briefly between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite, where Chief was looking for the weapon, an AI created by Spartan 2 program director Dr. Catherine Halsey that Chief plans to use to take down his former AI companion and friend, Cortana. Since Halo 5, Cortana has taken control of ancient Forerunner weapons called Guardians that she's using to control the galaxy and place artificial intelligences as the keepers of the mantle of responsibility over all other races. Oh boy. According to 343, you'll see some pretty advanced AI from the banished enemies you face in Halo Infinite. One example of the unconventional tactics you might face? Brutes hurling grunts at you. Halo Infinite is taking the series back to its beginnings in a lot of ways. For one, it's set on a new ring world just like the original game, but this one will be more explorable than in the past, making it the biggest Halo environment yet. We've seen a glimpse of the map in Microsoft's Halo reveal, and as confirmed in our hands-on preview, you'll be able to explore the Halo ring choosing your own path forward. It'll also sport a day-night cycle and wildlife, making this ring world feel a lot more alive and realistic than what the series has included in the past. That doesn't mean this is going to be a non-linear game, however. According to 343, telling a traditional Halo story is still a big part of the equation, so Infinite also features enclosed sections that will feel like traditional Halo set pieces. This is where a lot of the main story will also be told. One of the most important developments about what we know about Halo Infinite is that it may well be the end of proper numbered sequels. Instead, 343 has said that Infinite will be the platform for the next decade of Halo, which might suggest something of an MMO-like approach where 343 continues to build on and expand Infinite with additional content over time. Although it's unclear yet if this is specifically for multiplayer or also the story. The campaign will be dropping on December 8th, but the co-op campaign won't be available until at least May of 2022. The Halo franchise's map-making feature, Forge, which is a favorite among fans, has also been delayed and is expected to arrive even later than co-op. Skybox Labs, the team behind Forge in Halo 5, is taking the reins on Halo Infinite's Forge mode. We can probably expect it to be more robust than the Halo 5 Forge, but at the moment, we have no idea what features the Infinite's Forge mode might sport. It is also worth noting that Halo Infinite isn't being developed by 343 Industries alone. There are at least 3 other studios contributing to Halo Infinite. Aside from the previously mentioned Skybox, the other 2 studios involved are Sperasoft, which has contributed to games including Anthem, Mass Effect Andromeda, Rainbow Six Siege, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Certain Affinity, but it's unknown how the latter 2 studios are contributing to the overall game. Microsoft dedicated a good amount of time to Halo Infinite during its E3 2021 showcase. We were introduced to a new Cortana-like AI character, and there are surely more mysteries to unravel there. But the big ticket item was multiplayer. After a few technical tests and blog updates, a surprise free-to-play open beta was dropped on November 15th on Xbox Series X and S and on Game Pass for PC and Steam. That's right, free to play. Going free to play and allowing crossplay seems to be a great start for Infinite to keep up with the current competition. While Halo no doubt remains popular and stands today as one of the best known FPS games ever, the series has lost some ground to its contemporaries. Games like Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and Apex Legends are eating a lot of the FPS pie these days and serving a new era of players whose main shooter experience is Battle Royale and not the arena style that Halo serves. A new mainline Halo entry hasn't been released on PC since 2004's Halo 2. Microsoft changed the situation when it released Halo the Master Chief Collection on PC in 2019, setting records with the title on Steam in the process. Microsoft has only leaned into the PC side of Halo harder since then, adding more games to the Master Chief Collection while making the game part of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on PC. 343 said previously that the PC edition of Halo Infinite was developed from the ground up for PC. Since the launch of the multiplayer beta, many fans have been happy with the gameplay, but less happy with things like in-game crashes and a lackluster progression system. But 343 has been quick to address some of these issues with better XP rewards and more updates for matchmaking on the way. The multiplayer is also bringing competition, new and returning, to tournaments that have already begun and have shown off what high-level Halo Infinite looks like during its first month. And it's still just a beta at the time of this video. Chief has a few new tactics at his disposal as well, including a grappling hook called the Grapple Shot that provides you with new traversal options. You shouldn't expect to climb everything you come across though. 343 said the Grapple Shot will not turn Chief into Spider-Man, but it should provide new options for getting around and getting into fights. There is a lot of other new equipment as well, including a heartbeat sensor of sorts that temporarily reveals the location of enemies, the thrust ability, the repulsor to push enemies and projectiles away, and more. These new abilities we've seen through the multiplayer may have a big impact on the single-player experience come December. Additionally, Halo Infinite has a new vehicle called the Razorback, which looks like a beefed-up warthog that has cargo space that allows you to store things like the flag in CTF or power seats in stockpile mode. And we also have 10 brand new multiplayer maps at launch. At least one of the larger big team battle maps even has a secret loot cave that can give you some power weapons and a unique height advantage. You can't hop into matchmaking without knowing a thing or two about the new weapons. The Commando is a precision automatic rifle with heavy recoil, but it's pretty effective at medium to long range. The Skewer is a kinetic weapon that shoots a single high damage spike. It only takes 1 shot to kill normal opponents and 2 shots to kill someone with an overshield. The Shock Rifle is a semi-automatic rifle intended to support from a long distance. Projectiles arc on impact to damage nearby targets. The Stalker Rifle is a mid to long range plasma weapon with a high rate of fire and slower projectiles. The Disruptor is a short to mid-range weapon that deals damage over time, so if you kill your opponent and they've been shooting you with it, there's a chance you might die anyways, so keep that in mind. The Bulldog is a highly responsive and fast-firing tactical shotgun, and it is absolutely devastating at close range. The Heatwave is a semi-automatic hard light weapon that fires fixed projectiles in a set pattern. Alt fire allows the wielder to change the firing geometry, so that means you can change the crosshairs from being in a vertical alignment to a horizontal alignment and vice versa. The Ravager is a really interesting weapon. It burst fires globs of plasma, but if you charge it and unleash a big blast, then it's actually gonna lay down AoE damage, and it's great for shutting down certain choke points or POIs or flushing people out of tight spaces. The Mangler is a powerful semi-automatic brute revolver that fires spikes at medium range, and this next one isn't exactly new, but it is powerful. The Needler is definitely much stronger this time around, so don't sleep on it. I know it has had the tendency to fluctuate in its powerfulness from Halo to Halo, but it's really strong in Halo Infinite, so keep that in mind. Another quick tidbit to also keep in mind is that some of these weapons have a spike on the actual weapon, and when you do a melee with these weapon types, you're actually going to do a little bit more melee damage. So that's a cool other little tidbit that you should keep in mind when you're trying out all these new weapons. Halo Infinite multiplayer includes traditional 4v4 arena, while Big Team Battle is back and it's bigger than ever with 12v12 battles. Ranked Arena has its own playlist in which you begin with a battle rifle, you'll have no radar, you have to play with friendly fire on, and a few other changes from the standard playlists. If you've ever watched Halo esports, then you have an idea of what it will be like. At the moment, it's my favorite playlist in the game, hands down, with Fiesta mode from the Fracture Tenrai event being a close second. But yes, absolutely, Ranked Arenas is super fun, and where are all my other Onyx players at? Let me know in the comments. Another important element to call out is that Halo Infinite has a tutorial mode of sorts called the Academy. This helps players learn the ropes, and they can even compete against bots to hone their skills before going online to test their mettle against the masses. With Halo Infinite multiplayer going free to play, the game is opening up to potentially its biggest audience yet, and it's neat to see the developers creating an onboarding experience to help newcomers learn the ropes. And for seasoned fans, playing against bots may be a good way to learn the ins and outs of the new maps in a less stressful environment. The Halo Infinite multiplayer mode also gives players a personal AI who serves as a bit of a personal announcer at times, and comes in a variety of voice and personality types. Customization is also a big part of Halo Infinite. Players can unlock and earn new cosmetics through gameplay, or they can buy pieces outright. But 343 stressed that these items are purely cosmetic and have no impact to gameplay. A key component of the new Halo Infinite multiplayer experience is your personal Spartan, that's meant to grow and evolve month after month and season after season, 343 said. Players will have more options than ever before to customize your Spartan and make it uniquely yours. Each season will feature a new assortment of customization pieces and components that can be earned via gameplay, challenges, events, and purchase. We've said this before, but it bears saying again that there will be no loot boxes or elements of chance if you decide to purchase an optional customization item. And of course, all of Halo Infinite's Spartan customization elements are purely cosmetic and have no impact to gameplay. Halo Infinite already had its first event alongside its current Battle Pass. The event was called Fracture Tenrai and ended up seeing a peak concurrent player base on Steam after it began. 343 also said in a blog post, with a free-to-play service supporting crossplay on Xbox and PC, along with a more inviting new player experience, we're rolling out the red carpet for more players than ever before to jump in and share in this universe and these experiences we've all come to know and love for nearly 20 years. We're as eager and excited as you are to begin the next chapter of this journey together this holiday. So what are you most excited about for the Halo Infinite campaign? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe for more Halo Infinite content. We'll see y'all next time.